Hello, hello. Minute or so early. Let everybody know we're going crazy. How's everybody? Fabulous Monday. Hey, big man. It's been a long day. I don't know why. We just sort of jumped all over the place today, which is good. It's a good problem to have. Yeah, I don't know who I was listening to or whatever the case may be, but they were saying that it wasn't, they've noticed a substantial decrease in their call volume, and it just goes to show that depending on, did double my scheduled stuff. Yeah, we usually try and, our average is probably 8 to 12 calls a day. And I don't know how many we did today. I'd have to count. I'd have to count all the work orders. As I said before, whose average is $492 work order. So you do the math on that. What is that? It's $6,000. And we did more than that in averages. I think our lowest or smallest one was about 560, and we did a bunch of brand new. Hello, Jeffrey. How are you, my man? Christy, you should know. You are a rare bird. I don't follow many of the ladies. Just because I don't want to get into trouble. But if you don't know who Christy is Victor, Alberta building operator. See if we can get you some follows. Is Victor out reffing? Where are these chongos? You guys are going to make me sit here. Oh, there's one request. Colin the Plumber. I don't see Matthew. Ty, I got eggs for you. I'm dropping off eggs for you tomorrow, Tyler.
What's up, brother?
How are you? You beat Matthew.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Sweet. What's up, man?
How are you?
Good. About yourself, dude?
Fabulous. I hear kids in the background. Are you crazy?
Can you hear? You can hear them? Shoot. It's
No, don't.
Sorry.
I'm not busting your chops. How many you got, man?
I got two. I got a 9-year-old and I got a 2-year-old.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's
Fabulous.
the 2-year-old up there. The 9-year-old's mad at me, so she thinks she's 16, and yeah, we'll leave it there.
Dude, it gets way worse.
Oh, I've heard.
Way worse.
So my wife tells me.
Promise you.
Yeah. Good kid. Very smart, which is the scary part. But she's thinks she's like 16, 17. I'm like, pump the brakes, kiddo. Everybody wants to be grown, but
it's true. It's true. It comes fast. Yeah.
Goes fast too. As cliche as it is, dude. Already 9. I can't believe. How many kids do you have?
5.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. My youngest is 17. Just turned 17. My oldest is 30.
Nice.
And and my grandson is 5, and I got a granddaughter that's 1. So it's fabulous.
I heard grandkids are it's the best of both worlds. You get to drop them off after.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a totally different set of rules when the grandkids come over. I can tell you that. It's a fact.
That's how my mom's house is. It's chaos.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Where are you? I don't even know where you are.
I'm upstate New York. I'm about an hour
Oh,
east of Buffalo.
there we go.
Yeah,
So you're right up there next to Canada,
I am.
almost.
Right, Lake Ontario.
There you go.
Yeah, where are you?
You're
I saw.
probably.
Good.
I am in Calgary, Alberta, so I'm whatever 5,000 miles away from you,
Pretty
which
far.
is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very crazy. I saw like when you sent me the hoodie, it came from what? Was it Indiana or no?
Yeah, it comes from Montana. So I use
Montana.
I use it's called DYK Post because it's so expensive to use Canada Post to send that shit.
I
That
figured, dude.
there's a company up here that you have a post office down there and they ship it all down there and then they ship it out of whatever the hell it's called. I forget what it's called now. Coots, Montana. Anyway, whatever the
It's like
hell it is.
on the outskirts, like right across the border.
It's literally I'm here and my mailbox is like on the other side of the screen here.
Nice, dude.
And they ship it off and it's way cheap. Like it's like a fraction of the cost.
Nice.
So yeah,
I just shipped something probably more east of you. Yeah, but it was like $40. I'm like,
I know.
just a hoodie and a hat. I'm like, all right. I
It's
guess.
crazy.
Yeah.
Now if I ship stuff to like it costs me like I just did it today. I shipped something from here to Vancouver, which is a hop, skip, and a jump. It cost me $18. I sent a bunch of stuff to Texas through my little connection there, and it cost me $22.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 packages. I'm like, it's so effed.
Yeah.
Every government agency is screwed, man. That's what it is.
Dude, we just had a DA up here. I'm not sure if you saw it. It went viral, but it was like in my county. It's called Monroe County. She's the DA for the whole county. Got pulled over by a local. Like she was on her way home, so she got pulled over. The cop tailed her. She just decided to go right to her house, into her garage, as the cop's
Yeah.
following her. Dude, body cam footage. Everyone's like lighting her up right now because she was like verbally abusing the police officer, which is like screwed. Like just like I get it. Everybody has bad days, but it's very appalling what comes out of this lady's mouth. And if you could just take that and run with however you want it, But
That's the crazy thing. Everybody has bad days, but unfortunately, I don't even know if I can say this on here. But if you have a bad day, you're not a public figure. It's the end of your life with some of those dudes. You live.
I'll send it to you when we get off this. It's you'll get it was bad. I couldn't believe half the shit that was coming out of her mouth.
And she's supposed to be representing you, right?
The county. It's not just like a small DA.
Oh,
county. Like
yeah,
huge.
That's the difference between us and you guys. Like you have, what's the smaller one than a county? Is that the smallest? No. I don't know.
Like jurisdiction.
Like what's your sheriff?
Like local. Like it's county. It's county sheriff.
Oh, county sheriff.
But
that's as small as it goes?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, so we have towns. I know, we have towns inside the county. So, like, you have Monroe County, and then you got, like, so on and so many towns, which each have, like, you have a Monroe County sheriff, but you have, each town has its own police force. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's weird, broken up that way.
Yeah, we have, I think, divisions is what we'd call it, like Foothills Division. I think somebody on Canada is going to call me out on it. I don't know what it's called. All I know is they all get overpaid.
Yeah. Yep. And think they're above the law. But like I said, I'll send it to you when this is over. But I couldn't believe it.
That's bananas.
It is.
Is Matthew alive?
I wanted to say, he's probably thinking it's 9. I think the last one you guys did was 9, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. Was it?
I think so.
He reposted it. I don't know. I realize plumbers aren't good at math, but I figure you could like do the countdown of there's 3 hours left and you can go watch and go, okay, 3 hours from now. It's time to go.
Yeah, I know. I just messed with him. What's good, Kinko?
So what's the deal, man? How long you been doing it?
Plumbing or the business?
The business.
Business, we're coming up on.
Let's start off with plumbing.
About 10 to 12 years, somewhere in there. right out of high school. I'm 30, 31. Right out of high school, I got into it, and a construction company, and then I ventured off to a plumbing division that they had. I worked under a master plumber, and then I ventured off to the union for about 6, 7 years. Then I went back to service plumbing. Then I went to management, and then I ended up here. Yeah.
Nice. And how long is that now?
This is 2.5, 3 years.
And how's it going?
Good and bad. Dude, it's a story. So like we didn't plan it. So like I have 2 kids. Like I said, we were planning to move down south towards North Carolina. We were gonna try to find a house upstate, and it was just chaotic finding a house, taxes, et cetera, et cetera. So again, long story short, we were looking down south, and yeah, we were gonna move. I was probably a month away from pulling the plug on a place down there, and in that whole interim, I had quit my last position and sort of did all my side work, which just snowballed into what we have.
I don't know what happened. Sorry, boys. Let's try that again. As soon as Maddie cupped in, it went tits up. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. As soon as Maddie showed up, it froze. I could see all the comments. I could see people joining.
Oh, it says you're unable to. There we go. There it is. Hang on. Accept. Yes. Accept. There's Colin.
I'm back.
You're back.
I thought Maddie joined for a second, then I was gone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I totally can hear you.
Cool.
I'm going live, man. I don't know what the hell. Come on, you bastard. Maddie, send in a request, Maddie. I don't know what the hell. Judas.
Some of these comments are pretty good.
Trudeau is joining us. No, not a chance.
The barn looks good, man. I remember when you were getting banners, God, years ago for it.
There it is.
Hey,
fucking guy.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? 3 ways never go well. There's always one person that gets left out.
Dude, there's a million innuendos when Colin's like, dude, well, you should go with a 3. I'm like,
Can we get a 4?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I will be honest. Some of those sound bites from the voice messages, I was like, I could probably use these.
I know, man. It's been done before, brother. You know it, man. We've all been clipped all over this stupid app. So
Definitely.
that's how it goes. How it goes. All right, Colin, you were giving us the lowdown about your 2 years you said into it?
Yeah. 2.5, 3 years. I don't even know where I left off, but the whole North Carolina thing, I was doing side work, and it just snowballed into pretty much what we got today, which is, Colin the Plumber. First year, it was just me, and towards the end of that first year, I started getting overwhelmed with, the call volume. So I got a kid who was working for another service company. He would do, he's still a hungry kid, but he would always do, my after-hours calls if I was, too booked up. It's I'll give you, this amount of cash just to go bang them out, give me a good review, et cetera, et cetera. And it snowballed into him being, full-time employee / partner / great dude for the company. And then we got another kid who's a great installer right now, so now we're in the employee realm, which is where it's fun. How about that? Yeah.
It's a nightmare, man. I don't think, Maddie, have you got an employee yet, or are you just hiring the odd dude to come give you a hand?
I
You're just
usually use
doing
the
the
homeless guy down
labor.
at Home Depot. Find the
Yeah.
exactly.
Casual labor.
Exactly.
The 30 pack, and you're off to the races.
Right. Yeah. Uh, I've been so this is the year I'm looking into it. Obviously, I got I call him Nemo. We'll call him Mo, but that's the reason why I got my master's. You can't hire anybody without a master's license, but you can pull permits with a journeyman's in my state. So I've been a journeyman up until this point. And once Nemo found some interest in plumbing, I always said that I would never hire anybody. That was my thing. I'm only doing what I'm doing just to survive with my family. And then I'm like, you know what? It's not bad having a kid with you on the side, packing up your tools and shit, and getting you ready to go home as you finish the job. So I put the school in to go for the hours to get my master's because Nemo seems interested in the trade. And now that I got it, I can. This is the week. This week I got to turn my company into a master's and hire Nemo on payroll when he graduates high school the end of May. So he'll be the first.
So you actually have to turn your company into a different entity down
Yeah,
there?
so, right. So right now, so you cannot create a company for plumbing in the state of Massachusetts without a master's license, but you can create a company for the federal government, so you get an EIN number, but it's not
Yeah.
recognized. It's not recognized by the board of Massachusetts until you get a master's, and then you got to then register your company with them. They're gonna give me a number. It'll say MP and then a number on it, and that's when you are an actual company in the state of Massachusetts to be plumbing. So
Oh, cool.
yeah,
It's funny how it's different. Is that the same in New York?
No. So like we were saying, like the towns, like
So fucked.
yeah, no, it is like we have like a city. You got to get your master's license in the city. Once you get that, you can get all your license in the suburb divisions. But you could pretty much start a plumbing company without any of that. You don't need it. It just everyone. Yeah,
Just do your thing.
pretty much. Yes, like you got everybody and anybody out here just opening companies, starting companies, and um, yeah.
so yeah, and
Uh,
if as a journeyman, you can pull your permits down here, but when you write the name of the permit, you can't put your business name on it. You got to put your first. So it's just like a side gig for you until you get a master's. You just put your first and last name on the permit. There's no company information because it doesn't exist to them.
really?
Yeah.
So are you liable
Say
personally
that.
for that stuff
Say
now,
that again.
or before? Like if you are you liable personally
Yeah.
for your work prior to your master's license?
Uh, so I don't understand the question. Sorry.
So if you install a gas line and
Yeah.
it blows up and kills three people,
Yeah.
are you personally responsible or is your business personally responsible?
That's a good question. I got liability, right? I don't really know that answer, to be quite honest with you.
Mm,
I do have
okay.
liability insurance. I just don't know.
I wouldn't
What
know
it
that
go?
one either. Yeah, I don't know if I would know that one either. Because yeah, you're supposed to get your like dig safe if you're digging. I think it'd be a mixture.
Sole
Yeah.
proprietor,
So
so you're
so
liable.
yeah, and so if you're you have to have insurance on yourself if you know what I mean,
Yeah.
a sort of property damage or you kill yourself or hurt
Right.
yourself, obviously. But if you up here, like I have to have like four different kinds of insurance to cover uh, my employee. I just had a conversation with it today. I need employee liability, uh, property up to $10 million now
Yep.
because we do commercial shit,
Yep.
and my personal liability, and then anyway, it's fucked.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Everything just costs money, right?
Dude.
It's
My
crazy.
insurance company just sent me a bill for last year and said, we actually audited you. You owe us more for last year. And
Dude.
It's
I,
so. Do you? How does serious? It must be the same. How does OSHA work for you guys?
To be honest with you, they're not really that intertwined with residential people, but in commercial, they would just show up to your job and walk the job at that point and give you fines.
Yeah, there's
It's
usually always rumors like when they're in town too.
Right.
There's usually something big happening, and then the rumors spiel out. But residential, I don't know if I've ever. We have like Burmex, like certain like utility companies that will like if you're digging in like the city, like you'll have people watching, people calling in, and like a different like dig safe will come up and look ask for your permit and certain things. But OSHA, never heard of her.
Heard of her.
Yeah. So up here we have what's called WCB, which is Workman's Comp, and they're basically, in my mind, they're the same as OSHA, but they're like the Black Hand. Have you ever watched The Godfather? Like they literally say, send us your books for the year, and we're taking a percentage of your gross, not your net.
Right.
Like if you did $5 million, they're like, you owe us $50,000 for the year upcoming.
Yeah.
And
That ain't
and just like you said, if I do $6 million next year, they're going to be like, oh, thanks for the 50, you owe us another 15K.
right.
Fuck.
Can I go
Yep.
to my client and be like, "Hey, that job I did
Yeah.
last year,
Yeah.
you owe me another
No.
300." Sorry.
Can you imagine if? Oh, it's anyway. That's sort of. I mean, that's super deep into the minutia of whatever. But
Yeah.
what do you think? Like, why are you guys on your own? My story is 30 years old. You guys are fresh out of it. So, why'd you
I
do
already
it?
gave my
It's
spiel.
fucking.
I already gave my spiel. Matt, you're up.
Why am I on my own? So I honestly, so that's why I haven't had my master's, is because my entire career I didn't think I would ever be doing this. It's never even been a thought in my head. But as 20 years goes by, it kind of changes a lot throughout those 20 years. So um, I did the math, and I was spending 28 days a year behind my windshield. So driving back and forth to work, I was spending 28 total days, unpaid hours driving to and from work. And as you get older, time starts to become more wiser to
Yeah.
you, I guess you could say. And then I also had the twins that at that time, and as my wife gave birth to those twins, I was watching her not struggle, but she definitely could have used the hand. So I was trying to figure out how I can get my own hours and do my own time, because obviously we all need to work. It just what works for you at that point. And 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. wasn't working anymore for me. So and then money as well. I mean, I got 5 dependents that I was on trying to live off of a weekly paycheck. So the 2019 came, I started doing the side work at that point to try to compensate for all that, to see where it would go. And I pretty much wasn't around all of 2019. I was working 4 a.m. till 10 or 12 at night, almost every night at that point. And then once it got to that point where I knew that it was time to leave. Now that's the hardest part for most people, is because they just scared of healthcare. I don't care if you tell me you're scared about everybody needs a plumber, everybody needs work. It's the things that go along with it that people are scared to leave
To
somebody
lose.
else's, right, to lose, right. 401ks, all that stuff. So um
Company
that
vehicle.
company vehicle, gas card, right, the work. So, and then one guy told me, is like, you'll never see your health care get taken out of your account once you start your business and you're working every day. So, and that was like the one thing that I needed to hear, because you're getting, somebody else is taking care of it, but at that time you're also living check to check. So you're like,
Yeah.
what? If this guy's getting me health care, great, I'm still living check to check, I got to change something. So those three things right there is the reason why I actually started my own business and jumped into what you guys see today. And it a lot of people think like, they don't like the hours that I work, that are watching me, because I don't get up at 7 a.m. to go to work anymore. So I changed my whole lifestyle at the same time by I don't set an alarm clock. I still wake up at 6 or 6:30 in the morning, but I help the wife with the kids, get them off to work. We go to the gym, and then I go to work. Some days I go to work, but every day I drop the kids off at school. So I've took me a few years, but I've made the schedule that works for my family, and that's one of the reasons. So this is like all jammed in, but this is one of the reasons why I don't want to hire anybody. I'm also didn't want to really hire Nemo at the same time, because I wouldn't want to put him onto my hours because he's so new. But he is my nephew, and he says he likes golfing during the mornings, anyways. So but I did this to have what I have today on, like, for time. Like, I more want to spend time with my wife and kids than I do at work and behind a windshield. So, and it
Yeah.
didn't obviously come right away, but now I can literally set my own time, tell these people when I'm going to be there, and work those hours instead of working that 4 to 4 days. So the I guess in long story, it was money and time.
That's good stuff, dude.
We lost him.
No, I'm here. I'm back.
There
Am
he
I
is.
back?
He's
Yeah.
back.
No, that's the best thing about it, right? Like all the risks that you say, and there's a couple questions that I'll ask you guys that have come in. Is the freedom. Like I'm at the point of my career where I can I'm taking the week off. Boys, handle it. I'm
Right.
out. Don't call me. I'm busy. I don't because it's really busy and I enjoy what I do. But the freedom to do whatever you want with your schedule is,
Right.
and to take on the clients that you want and fire the clients that you don't want is is
Phenomenal.
it's unreplaceable. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Like there's no way to replace that because, as
Right.
you say, if you're working for somebody, you got to be there and you get to stay till they let you go
Right.
and all the rest of that stuff. So one of the questions. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
No. So before I left the old company that I worked for, the starting time was 6 o'clock in the morning. So you had to be there at 5:59 and have the whole crew sign a sheet with their names on it, and that email picture of it to the office had to be there at 6. I was like, man,
So, so, so
Yeah,
if you're
no.
late, that's
I gotta
fucking
get the
pressure, man.
right.
Yeah,
I gotta
You're
get
a
out of here.
dick.
I gotta get out of here.
dude,
Right. Who can
that's
live
bad.
like this?
Oh,
That's bad.
Right.
that's terrible. I've never heard of that. Is that even legal?
I know,
100
right?
so 130 guys that are 15 minutes late every day. What's that
Yeah,
add up to his pocket?
yeah.
That's how he looks at it.
Exactly. So one of the questions is what do you guys do for health? Like it's different in Canada, but
Mm.
how do you guys do healthcare or health insurance? I mean, you got 5 independents. You've got three, right,
Two,
Colin?
two.
Is your wife your wife
Yeah,
working for the
yeah, yeah,
company or is
yeah,
she
yeah.
doing
So
all?
no, she's a dependent. Yeah,
I
so great.
I realize it's we're in a new world, but I don't want to lump the ladies in as dependents. But
No, no, yeah, she
I'm
stays home.
pretty sure on your tax return she's a dependent.
Yep.
Exactly.
She's the brains behind
So what do you?
my thing. You know, she does
You need the
all the.
brains.
Yeah, she does all that stuff. But healthcare, no, healthcare. Dude, I think the first year I still was covered under my last employer, or maybe the first 6 months, and then we had to transition and just got pretty much a family healthcare, which is crazy expensive, but that's how we did it.
So yeah, my obvious dude. So I'm talking. I went into this thing with no money. Okay, the money that I had was the money that fucking made in 2019. All right. And it's because I was working day and night. So the first year when I jumped, I'm like, what are we gonna do for healthcare? What are we gonna do? I found the cheapest healthcare plan that you could possibly think of on there, just so I didn't get fucked on tax season, and made that ride until I got comfortable with the money that I coming in order to find something. And it honestly took about a year and a half. And then my wife, we finally got to that point, and she started fishing for healthcare. Now we got a family healthcare plan that's Tufts, and it comes out the 15th of every month.
Yeah, yep.
But obviously, when you start something, you're not going to have the best, and that's pretty much what my point is trying to get across to people. Is in order to start something, you can't start at the top and then hope for the best at that point. So you gotta start down here and work your way up, or else you're either gonna tank, or you're gonna work your life away trying to pay for all the bills that you're coming up with in the first year, because you don't know what's gonna hit you in the second year from the first year. So
Yeah.
I just that's my point to everybody, is that you don't need the tall transit van right off
You
the rip if you're
don't.
coming. No,
Don't.
you're gonna make the same amount of money in a $40,000 van that you are in an $80,000 van, whether if it's just you. So why go into it paying $1,200 a month if you need a loan when you can do $600 a month if you need a loan? So because that extra $600 is good, especially when you're working alone. there's only so much money that you can make by working alone, and I know that. So
It's capped. It's yep.
yeah, you're making more than you do working for somebody, but you can only make so
There's
much.
a limit, exactly.
Right.
There's yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's where the next. So the question I get asked the most when I do those stupid things in the morning is, uh, what do you do for advertising? And I have, to be honest, I haven't advertised in
Yeah.
20 years. Like I just don't. We have our vans and our reputation, and that is it. And I do my stupid stuff on Instagram. But what do you guys do? Are you guys into Google ads? Are you doing Facebook ads? Are you just word of mouth? What is it?
Word of mouth for us. We I got the vans wrapped. I did that right away. But like I said, from our side work to our company, it just snowballed into pretty much place. But a reference is worth $1 million, dude. That's all our company is. We'll do. We got pretty like profound in our community, which is cool. Like we made a name very quickly for ourselves, and um, networking is crucial too. I'm gonna want people to get that through your network. Your network is worth more than your knowledge in anything. You know what I mean? If you know the right people, you're gonna go in certain places. So that's pretty much where we ended up. Yeah. So
And what do you mean when you say network? What do you mean? Who's your network?
no, the people that I made connections with over the 12 years of plumbing, the people that
Okay.
I've acquired and became friends with, the maintenance companies, all the people that I've come across in this 12 years. As a matter of fact, and even if I didn't say I did side work or, what the situation may be, they still knew I was a plumber. And by the time we launched and said, Colin the Plumber, whatever it was, like I said, it took off like freaking, it took off like a rocket, which was awesome. It was a blessing. So, we do some billboards and stuff, but the vans are wrapped and references are pretty much all we do.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you on that one. Matt,
I,
what do you think?
I'm just gonna run back, and somebody said, "Is your health insurance better than the one that you had when you worked for the company?" So it's the same, if not better. So, and you just you can't think about it as you don't pay for your health insurance now when you work for somebody because yeah, you're only making $1,000 a week. So then if you're making $10,000 a week, you can have the health insurance that you want at that point. You're going to be it's hard to explain to people that are on the still working for somebody that you're making way more money weekly than you would be working for somebody. So all the things that you think are going to cost you an arm and a leg, as long as you are consistently working, then that arm and a leg isn't going to be noticed coming out of your bank account at some point. So
That's the difference, right? Like as an employee, you're like you said, you're capped out at what? Maybe $2,000 a week if you're fucking killing it, right? So you're
yeah,
bringing, and your gross is $8,000. You take home 55. I don't know how it works down there, but
yeah,
that's what we would do.
right,
So you're living off 55 a month, and as a business, even with, I'll just use, we had one of our best months ever in January when we were minus 50 up here for 2 weeks.
yeah,
And we did $250,000 with my two boys. Like
right,
it's fucking insane,
right.
Yep.
right?
In two
And I'm like,
months,
Then taxes.
in a month,
And
in
then
a
one
month,
taxes.
month,
Yep.
in
right,
a month,
right.
Yeah.
and we're still dealing with
And
that, right? And
you're
so
still working. So now you're
Yep.
collecting the 250 because it's probably a 30 to 60-day hold on that 250. So you guys are still banging out work and you're collecting those checks coming in as we speak.
yeah,
So it's just yeah, and sooner or later. So obviously if you only got one or two jobs when you're just getting started, okay, you got your first check, now you got to do the work. And then you get your next job, you get that check and you got to do the work. But sooner or later you're going to be doing 3 or 4 jobs in a day, or maybe one big job and a couple of small jobs, and it just gets to the point where everyone's kind of handing you checks at that point, and I've honestly never handled this much money before in my life, not to sound
No.
but I've
Same.
right, I've
it's
just
the
worked
truth
for
though.
somebody, right, yeah, exactly. So like I just paid the supply house $15,000 for last month's bill, so it's like I got paid $4,000 a month after taxes working for somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've never moved. It gets to that point where if you've done consistency working, then you're just going to have money flowing in at that point. And
Yeah.
and then somebody else said $100,000 van, so and not a 40. But so I've been looking at vans, and you can get a Savannah or a Express, and they are 42,000 brand new. If you want a high top Transit, they're 65, and then you got to trick them out, so it gets to be a little bit more. So it's basically just, do you want to survive, and how much do you want to work? That's how you want to separate your bills. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I look at it, I'm still looking at taking in money as, well, I made more today than I made working a week.
Exactly. One
Right?
day
That's
you
all
make
I
it.
need.
It's yep.
It's
Take
true, right? Like we
one
did.
water
I
heater,
was,
one water heater, and you make your paycheck,
Right.
or whatever it was.
yeah, yeah. We did whatever. I don't know what we did today. I don't know, 20 thou. I don't know.
20,000. Right.
Yeah.
It's like a stock
Like
market move.
it's ridiculous. Like, and I guess that's my message to, I realize I say it all the time that I come across aggressive, but I'm like, dude, if you focus on this
Right.
and work your plan and plan your work, whatever that stupid
Yeah.
saying is, then you just are like, listen, you get to the level where you're like, dude, I'm making, $10,000, $20,000 a
Right.
day and everything's paid for. I
Yep.
mean, you're busy as hell. You don't sort of your, like I said, I haven't advertised in 20 years. We have our base clientele. We get a new customer every week now. And I think it's like what you said, Colin. I mean, if you're good at what you do, people notice. And like if you're
Yeah.
exceptional at it, if you're an exceptional plumber, and I hate to say this, I'm not speaking about anybody on Instagram, but there is a ton of shit plumbers on that are out there working. Like
In the
they're
world. Yeah.
terrible. They're terrible.
Seriously.
Like I don't even know what. Like I don't even know where they get their licenses or how they think they're plumbers.
Right.
Like there's every day we walk into a new place and I'm like, what in the fuck is happened here? Oh no, so and so is this, and I'm like that dude. That dude needs
He
to
was
go back to being an electrician. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but that guy's
he was the cheaper guy. We all know
Yeah.
that guy, right?
Oh
that's
yeah.
how it goes,
Right.
right?
Well, that's dude. Yeah, I was gonna actually touch base there. Like when I first started, I went not like super low, but I went like medium. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't the cheapest guy. I was low because like I just had built somebody else's company, so like I had a price book, I had Profit Rhino, I knew all the systems, so I knew what the prices were in my area for like a national average. So like I went low to get the clientele my first year. And that first year I hustled my ass off. Like I built it up. You know, you got to be a good human being first. Like you got to be able to talk to customers. You got to be able to be
Yeah, yeah.
clean, take the skills and all that shit outside. Like take the plumbing out of it. You got to be clean. You got to leave the job site cleaner than you left it. That's going to build you a whole list of, clientele. And then you got to, you know, be friendly. You got to be good with people. Where'd Matt go?
I don't know.
Just in and out. Every time I talk, it's every time I talk.
He doesn't want to listen to what you have to say,
I
man.
know.
He's like, fuck
I'm
you,
just
man.
gonna hide in the back corner now.
No, there he's back again. No, but you're right.
And I see guys on here now. There's a couple dudes like the Rhino. He sort of was saying the same thing in some of his stories. That's the way you got to be. If you're planning to just be yourself.
Sorry,
What's up, brother?
I'm back.
Every time I'm gonna do that.
We know my short bus fucking video went crazy, and so we know who took the short bus. In fact, I think Matt told me he had the elevated short bus where they had to pick him up, put him on. He couldn't walk the stairs.
That's awesome.
But yeah, man, I think the personal skills and the cleanliness, I think those are crucial for that first year, making your name. And
I don't think that ever
goes
changes.
Yeah.
To be perfectly blunt, that's what I do now. Is I just sort of drive around, talk to my clientele base. We have lunch. We talk about whatever. Like they're literally now my peer group almost. And they're like, we got this big job coming up and that big job coming up. I'm like, right on, bro. We got you.
Yeah.
We need to start on Tuesday. Okay, I'll make sure the boys are there.
Yeah.
and off we go. Oh, there's a bunch of fucking things coming in here.
Anybody got a banana?
fucking
I won't
buddy.
even lie. I ate a banana today, and all I was thinking about was that stupid ass Instagram. I'm like, all right.
The
Oh,
Bacon Boy says Bob's using us as slave labor.
listen.
Listen,
Let me tell you something
Pete,
about.
you
Let
got
me tell you.
no more
Let
drain
me.
cleaning, Pete. All right, you leave
No,
it for
Pete.
Dad. Leave it for
Pete,
the dad.
listen. Since he's shooting off that Chachi of mine, like he went and did a drain call on Saturday, and he's like, it's really. I don't know what it is with Pete, but he's got a mental blockage with drains, so he's still on drains. He's like, I can't get it. It's not going through. I'm just gonna fill it up with, fucking acid. I'm like, all right, and then. I talked to him this morning. We were at a job this morning at like 5:30. I'm like, so did you clear that urinal? He's like, I haven't heard from him, so it's fine. And like an hour later, Isaiah's like, dude, they're pissed. It's still plugged. And he went and cleaned it. I'm like, bro, you got to work on your fucking drain cleaning because you suck at it. So he's in here shooting off slave labor. Dude, you got to be better at fucking. Yeah. The beautiful thing about the boys, and we've had meetings about it, is this whole thing's going to be theirs in like 6 or 7 years.
Generational.
Yeah.
Generational.
And I'll just be. I'm like, pay me my money, bitches. I'm not going to work.
I can
That's
hear.
gold.
I can hear him already. I gotta cut my dad a check every week. He doesn't do shit.
I promise you guys, in like 7 years from now, he'll have a beard. He'll be like, that dude is fucking sucking his dry. I'll be like, right on. Oh, it's so good. You get what you pay for. Just so everybody knows, Pete bought himself a new car last week.
Nice.
So he's not doing too fucking bad. Just
Nice.
so zip it, Chachi.
I just got a minivan.
There you go.
Dude, you know how expensive minivans are?
Dude, I know how expensive minivans are.
Dude, ridiculous.
Yeah, everything's out of this fucking world, man.
My Sprinters cost as much as the damn thing.
Dude, I looked at, that was last year, my transmission went in my truck, and I'm like, I'm gonna get a new truck. It was $110,000 to replace my fucking truck.
Yeah.
And
That's
I'm
why
like,
I got rid of the ProMasters. Matt he doesn't want me talking. He just does not want me.
Matt, you're gonna fuck this whole thing up.
Don't buy ProMasters. Do not buy them. That's all I was saying.
Dude, I had the original Dodge
Sorry.
that had the Mercedes. Sorry.
It's every time I talk. It's like every time you're like, see you, Colin. I don't want...
Back.
What's up, brother?
It's great. Marketing, right? That's where we work. Marketing. How do you market? Who market? I see Colin puts the signs out wherever he works next to the side of his truck. Yeah.
OG Plum God, that wasn't me. I get a lot of messages. That was not me. I stole it from Instagram, but very good idea.
That's a good idea.
Good reasons of Instagram.
Yeah.
We did it years ago. I don't do it anymore. We don't. Do you guys mostly do residential? Is that all you guys do?
Unfortunately,
I got a couple big commercial accounts, but other than that, it's mainly residential.
I'm trying to bust my way in the commercial before the residential collapse.
You guys, there's a question. Do you guys think that's coming? I hear from Eastern Canada that the residential thing's the wheels are starting to wobble a bit.
It's been a couple months. It's been weird. I've never, obviously 2.5 years, never hit that lull, but we hit a couple lulls that were not scary, but just like, oh shit. I don't know. Hope not.
Hope not.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you do? No, that residential won't collapse. Who knows? I got out of residential back in whatever that was, 2008, because it was the stock market, like new housing. Right. You know what I mean? Not renos or anything. It went hard after the commercial thing, and it was the commercial service. It was the best thing we ever did until COVID, when for like 3 weeks I thought I was going to be done, because every hotel, restaurant, arena, community center was closed. I'm like, we are fucked. Like, I don't know what we're going to do.
Right. But that only lasted 30 days, right? And then they're like, you know what?
It only lasted a couple of weeks, and then it just, you know what I mean? Everything sort of kicked in, and we didn't have our best year ever, but we did not. It wasn't our worst year ever.
Right.
So that 2020 and 2021,
That's actually when I
and
started. That's when I left
Yeah.
my company in 2020. So
at the beginning or after COVID, like in
uh,
January. Do you
I
remember?
think December 4th, 2020. So I was
Before.
working. Yeah. So I worked all the way through COVID because yeah, actually got laid off the month of April from the job I was on, and they were like, no, actually come back. So then we came back May, and I was doing all that side work to that point where December is when I jumped. So I actually jumped the year of COVID. How many people can tell you that, right?
I
And
don't know, man.
only the
Not me.
I won't.
trades.
That's fucking nuts. You know that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like and good for you, because
Yeah.
that I won't like. That's
Right.
craziness. It is like I that's not even a like a riz or an insult. I'm like, dude, that's insane. Good for you,
Yeah.
because that
Right.
takes some balls.
Right. Guess so. Right. That's called not paying attention to your surroundings.
Exactly.
Right. 100%.
This is gonna work, right?
Yeah, exactly. They said just do it. So fuck it.
And Colin, you were the year before.
No,
Like,
that was after.
oh,
Yeah, I was a manager at that point, and I rode through it. Didn't get laid off a day. And then a year after that, I was out.
See?
Yeah,
there you go.
I built somebody else's company up, and
Took
then did my
off.
own. Yeah, figured I could do it for somebody.
Right.
You know.
Might as well do it for the bride. Is that what you're
Yeah,
doing
I
it?
learned a lot on somebody else's dime, and then I did it on my own dime.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I've been asked this question a ton too. What do you guys think about? How do you guys price? Flat rate or hourly?
Flat rate for me. Obviously, I'm service. Matt's completely different than I am.
Yeah, so it's both, depending on what it is, I guess at that point. If it's new house, then you obviously get a flat rate and like a
Do you?
price. I give them a
Oh,
price.
that's
Right?
sick.
Do you give them a price per fixture, or you
Correct.
just say that this house is going to
Yeah.
cost you
Okay.
10 grand, or do you say
Right.
you have 15 fixtures in this house and it's 2 grand a fixture?
Yep.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. And then if it's that was in the beginning, I was definitely doing all fixtures, but then it got to the point where I was like, all right, well, what if the basement's 80 feet long? So I
Right, and you got
started
to.
I started pricing out the fixtures above and then looking into the basement and giving a price as a bundle for that as well, because it turned out to be a little bit more than what you thought down in the basements.
And
So,
that's with finish, right? That's it's 200 or 2,000 or rough,
ye-
whatever per.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
rough in finish.
yeah, it's start to finish, but no fixtures.
No
Fixtures are all
fixtures.
supplied by the owner.
Oh,
That's
right. But the
residential.
labor to install them is all.
All
Yeah,
included in the
yeah,
fixture price. Yeah, yep, exactly.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
And so I tried to do, and now I know how long it takes me to do like a single family home or a 2 bathroom house. In the beginning, I didn't, so I strictly did by the fixture. Okay, you got 7 fixtures. I'm gonna do this price per fixture, and this is the number. And then I got to actually doing the house and seeing how long it took me to rough something, and seeing how long it took me to finish something. And now knowing how many hours that I put into it, I broke it down to how much I charged per fixture, and it came out to about $150 an hour is what I was getting per hour on the job if I priced it at the fixture price. So if I do a service call for somebody, then I do the same thing. It's from I do $150 is for me to get to the house and then tell them what's wrong with it. And depending on what it is, if it's something like a tub drain, then I give them a set price. Like, all right, I know this is going to take me this, so here it is. I'm going to make. If it's a shower valve, depending on what kind, I I didn't have a set price obviously in the beginning because you don't not gonna know pricing at all
right.
if you don't never did residential. So, but now I know how long it's going to take and how much money I want to make for that specific job. So I guess it all depends. If it's something really small, then it's just hourly. It would probably be, if it's to say it takes you an hour and a half, then you're paying 2 hours for that plus stock. So it,
Cool.
I
That's fascinating. When we did it, it was rough in, water lines, gas lines, and finish.
gotcha.
And I would break it out into each.
Yeah.
This is what it costs to rough in, because some of it we would charge for floor drains or laundry drains, which obviously don't have a finished price to it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So you would have 22 rough in numbers and maybe 19 finished numbers.
Gotcha.
And then if they wanted to add something, oh, I want to add this. I'm like, okay, well, that's another $2,200
Right.
or whatever that number turned out to be,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So you had a
So
book. You had a price book of sorts.
yeah, it was 4 lines long. And we would make them buy their own fixtures. We had accounts at like wholesalers, and say, go pick out anything you want.
Yeah.
They'll give you my pricing,
Yeah.
which was list price,
Right.
and then I would say, because you're using me, I'll give you 10 or 20% off your price,
Yeah.
and that's what you pay.
Right.
And let them pick out, because as you know, if the ladies are involved, if you pick the wrong shade of tub, you're fucked.
Definitely. That's the reason why I don't pick fixtures. I don't do
Yep.
any fixtures.
Smart.
You're looking at them for the rest of. Some people on here are always like, you should do the fixtures. You're gonna make your list, your markup. I said it's more headache for me buying
More
a faucet,
headache.
installing it, and when the wife comes home says she doesn't like it, for me to return it and then bring it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yo, pick everything out, and let me know when you got it, and I'm gonna come and put it in.
Yeah. Is that rubbed oil bronze or brass? I'm like, I don't fucking know,
Yeah,
man.
right.
Like, pick out your fucking, like, go pick it out.
Right.
You tell me what you want,
Glacier
and we'll
Bay all day.
Glacier Bay. You're keeping the depots in business.
Yeah. Glacier Bay.
We never, and so I mean, you obviously do you install stuff that other people supply? I mean, you're picking stuff out at the depot all the time, right? That you're
So that's actually when I'm picking out fixtures at the depot, it's because the investor one of the investors that I work for, he has his account there, so he'll just release an order of all the sinks and faucets that he wants, and then I'll go and pick them up and bring them to where I'm going.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, for the most part, I just tell people go to the supply house if I'm doing someone's personal house.
Yeah, that's
I
how
don't know what you
we used to do it.
right.
That's how
It is the best way
we
to do
used
it. That way, just the headache return stuff too.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so you think? Hang on. You think? You think flat light's the way to go, Colin?
Yes, 100%.
Why?
I gotta make the most money that way, not to be a dick.
That's what it is.
Simple as that.
Fucking thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody I talk to is like, no, it's the easiest for the customer because it's just a number and we don't want to confuse them. I'm like, you're screwing them.
I hope
like you
none
are
of my
just
customers are
giving.
watching but no,
Matt's Colin's a very nice guy. He looks after you, but he's got to feed that family,
right.
and so
That
flat
minivan
rate
payment.
is. That's right, man. Dude, you're the first guy that has admitted that. Congratulations, because all of them try and work around it and say it's no, it's this, it's that. I'm like, no, you have to make such a big number so you cover every possible scenario that you could walk into.
So the oldest saying is, if this guy does it for an hour and this guy does it for 3, why would you pay this guy for 3? This guy, different hour, like, you know what I mean? If you're paying somebody to do a task for 3 hours compared to 1 hour, why would you have to pay him more? That's what I've always heard about the flat rate, but it's not really. Like I said, it's
gobbledygook to make to make you feel better about fucking people.
Yeah.
The end.
Yep. Yep.
Colin's very nice. If your customers are using him, he's very good at what he does.
Love you guys. Dude, Matt? Do you got are you guys use it? What do you guys use it for a platform? Like,
So I just have QuickBooks. So my very first month, we'll go back to fucking when I tell you that don't waste money on things your first year that you don't really need. So I thought I needed House Call Pro. So I did it for a month, and it's probably great for like a 10-man operation. But for one guy, what worked for me was just writing it in a book and keeping the book near my door. And then if something changed, I crossed it out and put it back in the book because it's also free. And House Call Pro was charging me $300 a month, and they would text the customer. And then if my day changed, because you're only one guy and it changes constantly when you're doing some service work,
Yeah.
then I would have to then go around House Call Pro and reach out to the homeowner and tell them I'm going to be a little late or it's going to be tomorrow. So it became a headache. And I cut it loose after the first month, and I just used QuickBooks to uh, bill people, estimate, and whatnot
Yeah.
off of that. So I just, if you had a 10-man operation, something like that would probably work out well. But it's got a lot of like features in it and whatnot. It didn't work for me, and it wasn't
That's
worth $300.
I hear you. I just switched. In the process. Today was like the first onboarding meeting for. I'm switching to House Call
Yeah,
Pro from a different one, which I'm not going to name the different one, but it was terrible.
yeah, yeah.
Like, and it's like a big one on here. I just, dude, just terrible. But again,
Right.
it's for the service, like just to get everything in order. Seems pretty legit. I don't know.
We
What is
used QuickBooks forever, and when we had the 18 guy operation, we just ran everything through Microsoft uh, uh, Calendar and
right,
Excel. Like we ran our little Gantt sheets, you know what I mean, to do all our scheduling and shit.
right,
And we've just sort of stayed with that model. We use a digital. It's called Go Canvas, and I've used them for a decade. And it's just our digital sort of database
right.
that we create our invoicing through that goes to the office, and then the girls just insert it into QuickBooks and it shoots it out the other end. It's super. It's very streamlined. It costs me, I don't know what it is, $90 a month maybe, and
Yeah.
that's
It's
and
right.
everything else, like frankly with Google, most of that stuff. If you did a weekend course on how to use Google with calendaring and stuff, it would pay for itself.
Oh yeah,
Like,
hell yeah.
you
Same with
know
like
what I mean?
Excel. Yeah, there's a lot of like you can get so much shit for free that you don't even need really this. It's just convenience at this point for us.
That's what it is, right? That's what those companies have done. Is taken all that software,
It just
Word and accounting and Excel, and fucking
Right.
dropped it into a little thing, put their name on it. Here,
yeah,
Right.
man.
100%.
So
It's like I said, you're just paying the convenience. It's keep everything in house, but
and somebody's saying it gets you more reviews. How does it get you more reviews? Does your software actually do that?
so again, I'm learning it. Like when I was manager, we went from Service Titan, and Service Titan was great, but it was way too complicated for the operation that we had. Like it had all this extravagant shit that my technicians were getting confused about. So we switched to House Call Pro, which is why I'm switching now. Anyway, at the bottom of like, you could send like an email where, and someone's probably going to correct me because I'm still learning this shit, but you could like, the bottom of an email, like, you leave a Google review, and then, once you send your invoice, that's the last thing that pops up. Or you could pay this company called Podium, and Podium does
Oh
it.
yeah, those guys have phoned me like
Yeah,
crazy.
some shit like that. I just got a call
we'll
from them the
harass
other
your
day. That's the only reason I
we'll
know about
harass
it.
your customers until they give you a review.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, that sounds like a great relationship.
I will do. That's another thing though too for marketing. Was my Google reviews. I like pushed Facebook and Google reviews so hard, and like I think it's like over 100 Google reviews, 5-star Google reviews. You're like in a different thing, and they start putting your algorithm in there or something like that. Just I don't know if it's true, but
It is. Once you hit 25 reviews,
that's
you
it. 25.
act
Yeah.
you get inserted into the algorithm. Like Google finally thinks you're legit and like,
Yeah.
oh, you're real. Okay. And they'll start pumping out your stuff. And so after that, I've heard there's a couple other sort of, plateaus. You hit 100, they'll ramp you up a little bit more type of thing.
Oh
But,
yeah,
25 is the magic number.
dude. Ziola, the Facebook groups too are huge. Like I think me and somebody else were talking about it on one of the lives. But like those little like mom groups and shit that they have on Facebook,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
each
yeah.
those have done wonders for us too.
So do you just go and advertise within that group? Is that what you do?
People will tag us like, dude, we get so much support. They just blast like people will post it. Need a plumber, and like you'll have like 18 Colin the Plumbers, and you got a million other people too. But then they'll look up your reviews, see everything. But next
Oh, that's
door
cool.
too, yeah, next door is a good one too. I didn't think about all this shit when we were talking about that.
Somebody asked if Google or if Excel does my billing. No, I use QuickBooks, but Excel and Word and Microsoft Calendar run all my shit, and it's basically one screen, and it doesn't cost me nothing. So, but you have to have somebody that knows how to run that shit, obviously, right?
Yes.
Everybody reading the comments there.
Yeah.
you okay? You okay, Matt? You're looking tense.
I'm into it.
What's
I'm into it. What do we
what's
got going on
on?
here? What the hell's going on here?
That's the key, though. If you could utilize those things, like the like any of those platforms, like if you could utilize it to all the shit that it's giving you, it's probably worth it, you know?
Yeah, the problem with that is my only issue with that is that there's like whatever they call them, modules. Like they sell you the basic, right? This is what you need for your foundation, and then here's another module,
Oh
and
yeah.
here's another module. You know what I mean?
It's like my CPA. It's what my CPA was doing to me.
Yeah. You said so why you went through what 3 and 4 years?
Yeah. 4 in 2.5, 3 years. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's been a roller coaster with that one, dude. We just 6 figures and like end of the year taxes. We just did. We just closed out 6 years plus this. Then we got hit with quarterly for this first quarter because obviously the first quarter of 2024 hit. So we got 6 figures from last year in taxes because, again, I'm learning this side of the business. I like learning as, now I'm learning on my dime. So just,
Yep.
got whacked, dude. So we switched. This dude pretty much just did what you just said. You got this package. I can't tell you this because you need to buy this package type of shit. I'm like, dude, I'm paying you this shit. Like, it was silly. So the first guy was just horrendous. So then we're trying out somebody else, which seems to be pretty good. So
You need somebody that hates the government, man.
yeah.
I'm telling you.
Dude,
Somebody that literally either worked for the government and knows all their secrets and hates them, like got fired or quit, like, hastily and, knocked over some computers on the way out so that you
no,
can
seriously.
get the best fucking deal that you can.
I told this new lady, I'm like, just tell me when I have to buy something. Like, just tell me when I have to buy something. I don't mind spending money. Just tell me. That's why that minivan's a company vehicle. My wife's on payroll. Just
Everything.
beat the taxes next year. I'm not that I'm the richest man, but I'm just like.
No, everything I do, I've said this to my account. Everything I do is a tax write-off. Everything. My work vehicles, this stupid barn, everything I own.
Equipment, your gym equipment. Yeah,
everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know if I can do that. I'm like, well, then I'm going to find somebody else because that's what I need.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that I want to pay taxes on anything. Matt's reading. What do you got there, Matt? You're reading them like crazy.
I'm just responding. It's a 3-way. I'm left out at the moment. You know how that goes.
Okay, well, I'm tapping out. What do you got?
I wasn't even listening. Sorry, I was reading the comments. I'm like, what are these guys arguing about over here?
That's why he was acting out all the time. He's like, I'm sick of hearing this kid.
They're fighting
I gotta
each other.
focus.
Yeah, it's great. Kids dialed in.
Matt's watching. Matt's in the cuck chair is what the fuck he's doing right now. He's just like, what the fuck is going on?
What are you guys doing over there?
I heard that phrase like 6 months ago, and we do a ton of work in hotels, and never once in my entire life has that image, like, when I walk into, I had never once thought that. Somebody told me that, and I am ruined for life. Like every time I walk in, I'm like, holy fuck.
Never sit in that chair. Don't ever
Never. I used to like sit down and do some,
watch
do a couple emails. Like, no, I ain't sitting in that chair, man. There's no fucking way.
That's great.
Oh, it's so good. All right. Anything else, gents? We've been on this thing for an hour. Matt's only been on for 45 minutes.
I just got to shut up next time.
It's awesome.
Baker,
Oh, it's so good.
does your wife help out with the company at all? Same with you, Boston.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Super. Yeah.
like does like calls. Like, do you guys still answer your phones?
No.
So
So
there you go. Go
I'll go
ahead.
first.
Yeah.
I'll take the lead.
Yeah. Because once I
We have
start, it's hard to shut me up. So okay.
we have a 24-hour live answer company
Okay.
that we have a really good relationship with, and so we don't even answer the call during the days anymore.
Yeah.
It goes to them. It's Baker Plumbing. How can we help you? And they list their little thing, and I love it because I get a message and I can gatekeep it, so that if there's some nitwit that's trying to sell me Service Titan or House
Yeah.
Call Pro, I'm like, nope, I'm too busy for that. Or if it's a legit call, then I can phone in and find out what's going on and schedule it from there. So our office is super remote, and she spends maybe 4 or 5 hours a week on it, just sort of making sure that the invoices that get sent in from our digital software match properly with the invoices going out.
You see my wife's bugging you now. She says, "What company? Is it a local company?" She's trying to get out of the phone.
Listen, the
It's like,
phones are the
Baker, take
worst.
these fucking phones.
It is local to Alberta.
Yeah.
I think the call center's out of but they are. I mean,
They're not
I
from
don't know how to
India.
say this without. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't without sounding racist.
I'll take the hit. Thank you.
Thank you. No, but so we talked we had a big sort of one meeting, and they say what is your pricing after hours? Like they want to sound like us, like
Yeah.
they're an extension
That's
of
key.
us.
That's key.
Yeah. So they can answer sort of the rudimentary questions. Do you do plumbing? Yes. What's your hourly rate? This is what it is. What is it after hours? Is this an emergency? Blah blah blah. So they can do some finding questions to whittle it down a bit, and then they can I get every message that comes in, but they can they prioritize it with a little email thing saying, hey, we're this is an important one, or this is some dumbass that's trying to sell you something.
But you still
Blah
have to
blah
put
blah.
it in your system, right? It's like you'll get the text saying
Yeah.
Marshall, whatever. Yeah, and then you have to put it in and be like, all right, boys. Or, right?
Yeah. No, literally, that's like the thing that I like the most I like about service is I have no idea what I'm doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like literally none. We have
Yep.
3 jobs lined up. By 4 o'clock in the
Yep.
afternoon, we'll have
9.
done 16 of them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so every time, that was sort of the bane of my existence when I had the bigger company, was trying to schedule stuff, because like Matt said, I'm like, okay, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. At 9 o'clock, you're going here, and 10, 11, 12, you get everybody lined up. And by 9:30 in the morning, half your
It's
half
chaos.
your schedule's fucked,
Yeah.
because somebody didn't show up, or the customer that you went to is not ready for you, or the contractor, somebody drilled a hole in a water line, and so these emergencies show up. So we're very reactive, which makes us really appealing to these guys, because we'll show up they'll phone me at 1
Yep.
o'clock and we'll be there by 1:45. Yeah, we're here. Let's fix it. Like, oh, you're here already. Awesome. So it really is very responsive to what our client base wants. And we can prioritize, if somebody owes me money, I'm like, dude, we're not coming until you pay that bill, remember? You owe me 20 G's. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. I don't know how you forgot that, but I'm not coming until you pay me that. Okay, man, I'll e-transfer you tomorrow. I'm like, you could e-transfer me today, but do it
All
tomorrow.
my open invoice is right here. Keep a mental log of that shit.
Dude, I don't need a mental log. Do you owe me money? I know who you are.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's actually a joke. Pete was like, you were super cold to that guy. We were at something. He's like, you were super cold to that guy. I'm like, that dude owes me fucking money. That's why. So the point is, there's 1,000 comments coming in here. I can't read them all. How much does something like that cost? I don't know what that means.
Dude, they got AI ones coming in now. So I've been, like, not getting bugged, but looking into, like, AI people that answer the phone. I know.
Do you think Like you've listened to AI. Like I had
I
somebody do a
know
demo
it's
for me. It's I think it's terrible because
I
you're just like it sounds like a Thailand chick like
I
hello how are I'm
don't.
like Boston doesn't owe me money neither does Colin.
No, listen. I don't want to. I can't jump into this conversation because I don't want to say it stupidly, but I'm not that serious into it right now. I'm kind of just fucking around. Like I literally, I want to be able to make my paycheck in a day that I was making in a week. So, and my phone keeps ringing at this point, and there's times where I don't want to answer the phone because I don't feel like going to work that day because I already made enough money to capitalize what I need to live off of. So I don't want to take on so much work that all I'm doing is working. I'm at the. It may change when my kids get a little
No,
older and I get
I
less. It. I just want to be able to live. So my I'm not out there advertising. There's no name on the side of my van. I'm no longer posting on Facebook. What you see me post on here is what I see. I do get some calls from this, but I honestly don't want to
listen.
overload my schedule to where my life
I'm
is
I'm raising my hand. We
high.
have like we have like 9 seconds left. So should we just let this kill and then you guys want to jump back on? You got 3, 4, 2, 1.
Oh,
I'll I'll
ready?
I'll, I'll go live again.
Okay, Matt, I'm going to invite you first so that we can sum up this little party. Okay, we're live. Okay, I'm going to invite you first, Matt.
I don't know. Doesn't like you, buddy. I don't know what's going on. Can you send a request, Matt? I'm gonna cancel you because it says you're invited. There. Okay. Oh. Why? Matthew Brown, what the hell are you doing? You're effing me up. I don't know. I know. Tears of sadness.
Oh, there goes all the smoke for this fucking show. Everybody's like, all right, I had enough of this shit. I'm fucking going to bed.
I don't blame you. Let's try. Let's see if we can find Colin and wrap this up. There we go. Oh, now you're on the other side. There we go.
What's up, brother? I thought I just kicked you off when I got back on. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm
That's
done
it.
with this shit.
3 ways
All
never
right.
work out.
That's the lesson. That's the lesson, man. It can only be one-on-one from now on.
No more
All right.
three-ways.
You got 10 minutes. Anything left? Anything left that?
Well, so what I finished saying before was I'm not really taking the whole thing serious right now. I'm just trying to make enough money to every week to survive and and I'm making way better money than I was working for somebody else. But then you, Baker, said I'd rather have life than work. So you could see my
Listen.
voicemails on my phone. I got 700 unanswered voicemails on my phone. So I'm not advertising anymore. It's all word of mouth, and I'd rather have my own schedule than be on everybody else's schedule. I guess I don't know. Once I hit, that's the reason why I left, right? Because I didn't want to work as much and sit behind the steering wheel as much. I wanted to be home more and do more things. And I know a lot of people think that when you go off on your own, that you lose that power completely. And I guess it's to a point. I guess I mean, do I still talk to people about plumbing on my days off? Of course. Do I still send estimates or invoices or bills on my day off? I do, but I do it from home instead of driving 45
Yeah.
minutes to where I was driving before doing something. So it's I'm I'm I don't have a plan in front of me. At the moment, I just want to be able to have time off and work at the same time and have some type of a good balance between that. And once my kids get to be a little bit older, then maybe my brain will change to I want to work 60 hours a week. I don't really know. I don't want to.
No, I think the only advice I give both of you guys, because you're sort of in the same boat. I remember having 5 little kids running around like crazy, and it was
Right,
insane. And the best thing that, like you say, the fact that I ran my own business meant that I think I said it today. Like I didn't miss a single event ever.
right,
I'm like, sorry, I'm out. I'm quitting early. I'm going to whatever to support my kids. And that doesn't mean, I mean, that doesn't mean I didn't go to work after because things were so busy or on the weekends. But you will never have this moment again. Those little kids of yours,
right,
like it's one. You get
right,
one shot at it.
right.
And I don't think I fucked it up, but as I sort of look back at
You get,
30 years
dude,
ago,
you get so caught up in it. It's
you just sort of, yeah, you're like, oh, the money's so good and this is good. And, there is some, whatever you want to call it, some dopamine hit to being successful and making that kind of money and watching that roll in. You're like, dude, I am the fucking man because of, look at my bank
Right,
account.
right,
But,
right.
you know what I mean? Sort of on the other side of that and watching my little kids and my little grandkids, I'm like, man, I don't think I missed out on much, but I do think I should have spent more time focused on them as opposed to trying to be a big bad plumber or a
def-
big bad business owner.
Right.
definitely gonna take some notes from that for sure. It's like
So
I said, it's so easy getting caught up in that shit too. Like you
definitely.
Yeah.
just
And
said that. Like with like when we talked about like the video making and shit, like you can get so lost in just the business, the social media
right.
shit. You,
You
it
can't
just sucks.
do it all. You
Yeah,
can't do it all. And something's gonna get left behind at that point. So
yeah,
and you just I got two older kids, right? So they're mid teenagers, and then I got two younger ones. And luckily, I mean, I guess not luckily, but it just so happens that the two older ones I had while I was working for somebody, I was younger, so time really didn't matter to me. You know what I mean? You just keep going
yeah,
about your day, waking up, doing nothing really clicked until I
yep.
had the two younger ones now, and I was just like, you can't slow this shit down, man. I'm
No,
40 this month, right?
no.
Life is
So
short, dude. It's
right,
not meant, and it's the struggle I deal with all the time. Is like the middle balance between life is short, but also like make the most of this business shit. It's just there's no
right.
equilibrium to that, you
No,
know?
no, right.
And,
Agree.
and,
Exactly. So
and there is no pattern to it, right? Like
Yeah,
you said, Matt, and like you said, Colin, you got to figure it out for yourself. Like you got to talk to your spouse and what your kids' needs are and
right,
figure out how you sort of envelop them as completely in your life and use your business to make sure that you're supporting their goals as best you can.
right.
The greatest, I will fully admit, the greatest accomplishment of my whole life is I get to work with my boys every single
dude,
day.
that's gold.
Like I just, it's
That's
so awesome. Like I
Right.
can't, like I got goosebumps even talking about it right now because it's my,
Not everybody can do it.
it's,
Not
it,
everybody
it's,
has that option, you know?
yeah,
no, it's so great that they did it because they wanted to, not because I forced them into it, but,
That makes a difference
um,
for sure.
yeah. But yeah, it's just been it's wonderful if you can pull it off, um, and have and when your kids sort of turn 18 or 19 and have a wonderful relationship with them, wherever they go, whether it's into your business or elsewhere,
Yeah,
it'll make all the difference in your lives,
right.
all the difference.
Definitely. It's
100%, dude.
everybody
I don't know how
on social media, everybody talks about having a plan. They wake up at 4 a.m., they hit the treadmill. This is the only way you're gonna succeed. This is your whatever. And you get lost in that shit and it could lose your train of thought. I don't have a fucking plan at all, honestly. As long as I know I got
That's
work in front of me.
no, that's seriously, Matt. That's like my end. like my end, like right now I'm in the middle of all this chaos, employees, all this shit. It's not even that
Right.
big either. It's only
Right.
like 4 of us, but it feels
Still,
like it's like
of
24
course.
of us,
Yeah.
right? My whole thing though is like in the back part of here, I'm like, what
You
you're
got to
doing,
remove yourself.
what you're no, what you're doing is where I was the most happiest and where eventually I'm gonna end up back. You know what I mean?
So you say that exactly. So I think of Baker, right? Because Baker's like, I had 60 or 30-man crew, but look at him now. It's just him and his kids. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So,
It's true, man.
right. I don't know the amount of money that you made during that time where you had it, but it's probably, I don't know
Uh,
if it would be
the
worth it.
the
Like,
the problem is, and I'll be perfectly blunt with both of you guys. I clear more money now than I did then.
Oh,
When
100%.
I had 18 guys, I've said it on here before. Like every 2 weeks, I had to come up with between $60,000 and $80,000 to make payroll, to make
right,
taxes, to pay my suppliers, blah blah blah, to keep everything rolling. If some dude fucked me, then I am like, I'm pulling my hair out, and you're
right,
dealing with, all your employees' problems become yours.
right,
So when Stevie breaks up with his girlfriend and is in tears because he's not going to get laid for 2 years because he's an idiot, and he's crying in your office, I'm like, what is my life? What am I doing right now?
right,
Why am I dealing with a grown ass man that's
Stevie, no.
crying because he broke up with his girlfriend? Like, those are legit. Like, I'm not making that shit up.
right,
Like,
right.
it's legit
I believe
Yeah.
it.
stuff. And I'm like, you sort of sit back, and when they leave, I'm like, what in the fuck am I doing? Like,
Right,
I'm supposed to be gluing pipe together.
right,
I'm not supposed to be mentoring some idiot that can't keep his dick in his pants
right.
and, fucked his girlfriend's girlfriend, and everybody found out. And I'm like, oh my fuck.
So that's something that I've taken from you, Baker, off of social media. I know everybody's always like, Baker's always jabbing at people. I don't want to listen to what he has to say. But if anything, you may have saved me that thought process that maybe I build to that point to hire a bunch of people, and that now I'm kind of like, you know what? Look, he ended it with just him and his kids. So why don't I make that maybe the same road that I take at that point?
Yeah. Back to
Part of
basics, dude.
Right.
part of part of my issue with those guys, and it's not an issue. It's just I know what's coming for you, Colin. Like, I know what's coming for you,
Right.
and
Dude, I'm gonna
at
pause.
some point in the next 5 years, you're gonna be, that old man was right. That you're talking to some dude that's crying in your office. Okay, go.
Dude, I just turned 30, right? So I 30. I hit. And this is all this year. And I'm just making the logical connections to what's going on, right? I've had an MRI on my testicles. I have a cyst on my testicles. I've had a colonoscopy. I've had tremendous amounts of stress, and it's all caused by stress.
Right.
Like
Right.
every health issue I have is caused by stress. And then I sat back. I'm like, what's the variable? What the fuck changed? Why? It's not just because I turned 30. I'm not like out
Right.
here eating completely like shit. Like I'm taking care of my body, but it's just not like not worth it at the end of the day.
Right.
Like I said, I'm sitting here most days wishing I was where you are, Matt. It's just
Yeah.
going at it, take the wrap off my van, having fun. I took the fun out of it.
You just nailed it. There you go. Your last sentence.
Yeah,
Having fun. That's kind of how I look at it. I enjoy the time
yeah,
when I do leave my house to go plumb. I actually kind of need it,
yeah,
to be honest with you, at that point.
yeah.
So.
It's
Not saying
true.
it's not
It's true.
worth it, and not saying like I do enjoy it, but it's not the same enjoyment as I had when my first year in business
Right.
when I was out, thinking I was the shit, sneaking drink, whatever it
Right.
is.
Right. Nah, I'm with you. I know exactly. Once you hire somebody, then so my father, right? Not to take away from my own father, he owns a landscaping business since 1984. I watched him hire people throughout the 80s and the 90s as I grew up, and they were at the door at 3 a.m. looking for their check that they were supposed to get paid in 2 days because they were at the bar up the street. So then he dropped that completely once I became of age to like actually fucking handle a lawnmower, I guess at that point. And he took on me and two of my friends. We worked for him. I worked for him through my whole teenage career, and he never went back to hiring anybody else. He's still doing the job today, but with my mother. It's him and my mother are doing landscaping together for the last 20 years now that I've been doing plumbing
Awesome.
instead. So it's even everybody tries it. I guess it all depends on who you are. Can you live with it forever?
It's
You know what I mean?
it's not meant for everybody.
It's not right, right. Just like owning a company is not for
That
everybody. My mother said the
yeah.
same thing.
So I
Right,
wanted to hop on here and seeing Baker, do it for 30 years. Like if you are a business owner or if you're a sole proprietor, whatever you are in the business industry, you have to look at that and just say, damn,
right.
that's huge.
Definitely.
I say it even
Yeah.
with my local dudes up here. Like, there's a guy that you're very similar to. His family became like a family business. You know, and I say the same thing. I'm like, dude, that's one. It's goals. Having your kids want to be a part of what you're doing. Two, sustaining it for that long. It's just like it's sick. So
Definitely.
congratulations. Like you should. It's
Without a doubt.
no, really.
Thank,
1955, right?
thank,
Seriously,
That's what
dude.
you got?
thank you,
That's
thank you.
Did you? Did you?
Technically, that's when my grandpa started it.
I
So
was say, did you start it in
no,
1955?
no, I
No.
would not be here if I started in 1955. It's like I say, I don't regret anything. I don't live my life that way, and I don't think anybody should. If you take a shot at something, take a shot at it. There were so many things I learned doing that, and to be honest, I have 10,000 just crazy ass stories of dealing with
Stevie's.
hundreds, hundreds of dumbasses. I don't know what else to call it. Like every time, I'm like, how is that even possible? How is this even happening to me right now? I don't even know what's going on.
That's because everybody you hire is going to be as good as you.
Well, and that that I think I talked about that the other day. I mean, if you can hire a guy that can do 70, that's a 70% invested in what you're doing, then
Right.
that dude is a golden employee. Like you can't expect any better than 70%
Right.
of what you put into it. I just like you say, and most of them are 30 or 30 or 40%. You know
Definitely.
what I mean? They're like I mean, you guys were all there once,
Yep.
right? Where you're like, I don't fucking care. I'm going home. Fuck it.
Fucking C
Yep.
student my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
Uh,
that's I don't think grades have anything to do with it. But yeah,
So
like
I just saw it on there. Uh, I was gonna touch base on it. So like I have one of my guys is a commission based employee. So it does put that little kick in the ass of where it's gonna separate him. It gets tricky, but it still gives him a little kick in the ass. On a commission base.
right. So that and me being an employee just 4 years ago, I'm like, that's my other reason why I'm like, how do you hire? So everyone you hire for an hourly wage is going to give you a solid 4 to 5 hours of work per day. They're not going to give a shit
Yeah.
for most of the day. They're going to take an extra long lunch. So how do you change that? How do you fix that? Because I was that guy, and the more money you throw at them, honestly, look where I am. They keep giving you more
Yeah.
money, but it's
Yeah.
never where they want to be. So you can never really the only way, and it'd be at that point it'd be a partnership if you gave them a piece of the pie.
which
But I
Right.
mean
doesn't
that
work.
which isn't worth it at the end of it if you're doing all the hard parts and dealing with all the stress and they're just doing the actual like work themselves. So it's like, how do you hire somebody and have them happy the entire time? It never
And
exists.
even with commission, it's impossible. It does put
Right.
the drive into focus a little bit more than an hourly rate, but it still creates its own set of problems because then you don't have a team player. You're creating somebody just for the benefits, which then you're somebody just for the money. If I'm going to be
Yeah.
honest, you're just
That's what it is, right? You lose. I've said it before. Like if you pay them on commission, then they lose that ability to sort of look at a situation benignly, like
yeah, 100%.
as a neutral. No, man, you don't need anything with this. Everything's fine. I'm just going to tweak this, and you're off. He's like, nope, you're getting the Cadillac, and this is what you need, and this
Yeah,
is
the minivan.
yeah, right, because they want to make those commission
Yeah,
sales, right?
yeah.
Like there's no. I guess
There's
that's the
no
point.
middle ground.
There's no easy way out, man.
Right.
Like
I know.
whatever path you take, you got dragons to fight. is what it is.
Pretty much.
And then I got two on hourly, which they're installers, so they're happy, you know.
Yeah, right. There are a few. You can find
Yeah.
a couple of people out there that are happy to show up to work and be installers.
No.
They do exist.
Yeah.
They're out
Well,
there.
you need those people,
Right.
right? Like, if you're going to run a company, you need people to do that,
Right.
that are happy in that. And I suspect that you guys were those people for a decade or more.
Right.
You're like, I'm happy to just
What do you want
show up and
me
go
to
to
do?
work,
That's it.
swing my wrenches, tell me what to do, tell me when my break is, tell me when I'm going
Right.
home. See you later, right?
Yeah.
I'll see you at the bar on whatever day it is. So somebody says here that commission lights a fire under us. I don't think it does. I think it opens up to dishonesty, to be honest with you. Because you're trying to sell shit, right? Because the more you sell, the more your commission is.
Yeah.
So it becomes a bit of a dicey game, right?
It's a gray area. So like again, you got to trust your employees. So like I do trust them. And then I'm obviously overlooking pretty much everything he does. And he's been in there just shy, a couple years younger than me. In the field, he's an 8-year technician. So he came from a sales background where I didn't. So like I was fix it. Let's just get the shit fixed. Let's get out of here. He's like, so we have a good equal ground at it. But yeah, there's definitely some gray areas for sure. It lights a fire in my opinion, but I also can see what you're saying, Baker. It just sales point of view. Got to make your sales. You want to get home.
Got to make your
And I've
sales.
noticed it a little bit. I've noticed it like I wasn't gonna say where you were saying. I just said the lack of empathy almost. You treat everything like what?
Nobody says what I say.
Just a lack of empathy in certain situations. But again, it's what can you do?
Listen, I get it, and it's not a bad thing. I just, like you say, my experience, because I did the commission thing too, where once the company gets to a certain size, you can't manage everything anymore,
Right.
and so you have blind spots where you're like, well, hopefully everybody's doing their job right.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm running out of battery here, guys.
All right, I said 10 minutes. We're on for another 20. Anyway.
It's usually what happens.
It is what happens. But like you say, as you get bigger, then you are certainly more susceptible to blind spots, or you certainly know that you have them, and then you try and hire your most dependable people to sort of watch your back. You know what I mean? It becomes a bit of I mean, it's a bit dramatic, but it becomes a bit of a street fight. You gotta if you're fighting the dude in front of you, then you got to make sure your buddy's covering your back, or you're gonna get punched in the back of the head. And that's those relationships are based. I mean, those relationships are based on money, right? On them being paid. It may start off as friendships, which many of mine did. But at the end of the day, like you guys say, I'm here for the money. I got to make money. I got to pay for the minivan. I got to pay for my health care, all that sort of stuff. Fucking minivan. Fucking minivan.
Fuck it. I wish I could have that. I'm going to be hearing that for fucking a long time. Fucking minivan.
Fucking man. You're going to say that? You're going to say that for the next 8 years, Colin.
Fucking minivan.
Yeah. Every time you go and click that seatbelt. That's great.
All right, boys. Let's. It's almost 10 o'clock. You guys got to look after your wives and your children.
Yeah. It's hard to touch every single subject on here in one shot. It's kind of,
Yeah. No, there's a lot. I guess that's what it is. There's a lot to it to make it work.
Definitely. Exactly. Just don't go in buying Vito bags, all right? Just use a 5-gallon fucking bucket.
I fucking see JT in here. JT, quote me a Bible verse, you sucker. Oh, you don't? You don't know the Bible. I'm just kidding.
John 3:16, boys.
There it is. It's all covered now.
That's right.
No, I've known JT forever. He was like one of the first dudes I went. Chris is in here. Hey, Chris, why isn't how was your live with Eric?
He said
Eric's mad at.
Beard grew an inch in this live.
Probably did. It certainly took. It certainly changed a different shade of gray. There's no doubt about that. All right. Anything else, gents?
I'm good.
You're good.
I don't think so.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
I'm out.
Yeah. Look at what is this? I don't know what this is. Is this something? This is some fucking inside joke?
It
Clearly,
is.
clearly, it's an inside joke.
I think
DM me.
it's if you got teenage boys, they'll understand it. I
I
don't know.
don't have
It's a
teenage boys
TikTok
anymore.
Right,
TikTok thing.
exactly.
It's a
Yeah.
TikTok thing. All right,
Yeah.
then don't DM me. I don't
You
need
don't want any part of it.
Fucking minivan. I'm
Uh,
out.
fuck,
I can that'll be this inside joke. The fucking
fucking
minivan.
me, man.
Minivan.
All right,
Have
gents.
a good
Everybody
day.
have a
Lovely.
good night.
Thank
Later,
you.
guys.
Bye. Oh. Oh, yes, I'm